This is the GG Sports Podcast.
Yeah. Welcome in, everybody, to the inaugural episode. Now, just a little background explanation on things. So the GG name just randomly came up with it. You see, his last name is Gellerstedt. My last name is Granda. GG Sports Games. Thought it was pretty simple, straightforward, double entendre.
Right,
and GG Sports Podcast. That's how it came to be. So
and
welcome in.
And we're a podcast for the Minnesota Vikings.
Yep. And
so we're all about that.
Yeah.
Minnesota sports. We're a huge Minnesota sports fan in general, but
met through college. Both showed up to class wearing Vikings jerseys. So there you go. What other way do men meet each other in college other than over sports?
Sports, hobbies. It's easy to find another, especially when you go to school in Wisconsin and you see the one other person wearing a Viking jersey there.
Right.
Just gotta go that direction.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, what a great day for the first recording episode. Training camp.
Beginning of training camp.
Everybody's there. Everybody's, most people are healthy, getting ready to go. So I have a lot of high expectations for this team, which is a good and bad thing at the same time. As anybody watching this will know, the Vikings.
Viking fans.
It's just
for sure.
It can be disappointing. So what are you most looking forward to seeing in training camp this year?
So probably I'm going to have to go with Kellen Mond.
Yeah.
Personally.
Right.
I mean, it's just nice to have a new quarterback coming in. We're not relying completely on Cousins.
Yep.
So I'm just excited that, and especially like a second, like every single year we've been just completely committed to Cousins. And I don't know, I have mixed feelings about Cousins personally.
Right.
Agreed. I feel like, he has games that are insane, but the first 6 games last year was, I don't know. I don't think that's really excusable. I don't know how we can, be convinced by Kirk Cousins.
Right.
And this year, I feel better with Cousins since we know we have at least some sort of talent that could be the future or whatever. Even if we don't know, he's a 3rd round pick, but obviously he has a lot of upside and everything like that. So, but that's probably my number one excitement. I'm assuming that's probably most Viking fans too. I mean, we want a guy like Mahomes or
exactly. And
we watch everyone else have those players these days.
Right. And from what you've seen in his highlight tapes from college is, he's progressed every year, he's gotten better, and his arm's no joke. He's no Mahomes, but who is, So
yeah.
I think I'm excited about him. I agree with you on that one. And I think a nice thing to see here too is the investment in draft capital. So, he's not just a, guy you're just going to bring into camp. Like a 3rd round pick you can get a lot of good players in the 3rd round. Russell Wilson's a 3rd round pick, so it seems like they want to develop him into a starter. They want him to be their guy. And who knows, maybe with a guy with significant draft capital, maybe it'll push Cousins a little bit because, the rumors have kind of been out there that he doesn't necessarily like a legit number 2 behind him, after what he did to RG3, he's seen it firsthand, someone steals your job.
Yep. But, I don't blame him after what he did to RG3, but man, I don't know. So I think it's exciting. I think 3rd round pick's like a really good spot. It doesn't force anything.
Right.
If we would have got the what's his name from Justin Fields.
Yeah.
High expectations. High expectations.
And then that's just bad for a guy like Kirk, because with a 1st round pick behind you, your job is you're one bad play away from the fans booing you constantly and Kirk, we still got him with 70-some million over the next 2 years. So you can't be ruining his confidence that bad.
Right. And it's guaranteed.
Right. So, there's no outs anymore.
Thirds like that. It's a really good spot, especially with a guy like Munn, with basically, he has all the intangibles to be good. So yeah. Yeah,
nice.
So anything else for training camp that you think that you're
I'm looking forward to seeing what the offensive line combo is going to look like. I mean, in a perfect world, you go Darisaw, you go Ezra Cleveland, you get Garrett Bradbury, Wyatt Davis, and Brian O'Neill in a perfect world.
Right.
But I know, and now that Rick Dennison isn't necessarily the O-line coach anymore, I don't know if Dakota Dozier is a mainstay or a lock for the roster, which is huge because, let's be honest, he's garbage. Might be nice to keep him around for a backup with experience, but I don't want to see him starting. And it sounds like Wyatt Davis has gotten some 1st team reps, which is nice. And then Darisaw, I get it with the groin injury, especially being a young kid, you want to play it safe. And I mean, if we start Rashad Hill the first couple weeks, I don't mind.
Yeah.
He's solid. Like they paid him,
Yeah.
paid him a couple $1 million to come back this year, So I think if he were to start, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. But if Dakota Dozier touches the field, then we got problems. So
Yeah.
but
No, for
I
sure.
think my biggest thing is I want to see how that offensive line gels and develops. And
we
Bradbury,
want to see it. We want to see that perfect scenario that you mentioned.
Right. Yep.
Of course you want to, and if that happens, there's gonna be a lot of excitement. I mean, I don't know. That's probably somewhat wishful thinking. A lot with Wyatt Davis. You don't see Zim, bringing in he was a third rounder, right?
Yep.
Third rounder guys and putting them in starting. They don't usually start right away. I mean, even Justin Jefferson didn't start.
Right. But I think
he's first round receiver with all potential.
But I think Zimmer realizes his job could potentially be on the line this year with that. So I don't know. Well, it remains to be seen. So there's, it's exciting though. It's exciting to finally have some pieces there that aren't just, average guys that you've never heard of. They're actually kind of big namers. So I think that's my biggest thing. I just want to see how that turns out.
If that offensive line works out this year, if they're just even average this year, we're gonna see that's gonna be huge. Huge.
Like even just
the rest of our talent.
Right. Just a top 15 offensive line would be great. Just give Kirk some time because he's good when everything's on. When it starts when he has to start freelancing is when he's kind of, shaky. But when everything's on and everything's working perfectly for him, he can win us a Super Bowl. And the biggest part about that is having that offensive line give him time. Because if you can just look, you look at this offense, it is stacked from Delvin Cook in the backfield. You can go 3 deep with Thielen, Jefferson, and Dede Westbrook now. You got Irv, you got Tyler Conklin, who's a solid tight end. It's really potential. The offensive line is all you're worried about.
Yep. Awesome. Yeah. In my opinion and our opinions, that's how we feel about it. It's crazy though too that a lot of other people who are not Viking fans aren't feeling the same way.
Right.
I just saw Bleacher Report just dropped their rankings and the Vikings are at 21. And that's crazy.
It's it's outside. They don't, Minnesota's not a big market team. They don't care. They just look at what happened last year and they don't, make any changes or anything. But, I'm looking at it. We could be, I look at the Vikings as a top 12 team right now.
Yeah, at least. All right. Yeah, that definitely top 12 team, but I think they could make it to top. I think they could go top 5. I'm probably a little biased,
right?
Vikings, but still, come on. Last year we didn't have Danielle Hunter. He's back. Pierce. We've Patrick Peterson. We've added so much talent. Like I don't think people realize.
No, definitely not.
That's what we have there.
Yeah. Do you think we need a more legit option on the other side of that defensive line from Hunter or no?
That's a good question. I personally, it would be nice. Like a lot of people I see want Justin Houston, which obviously, because he's still in free agency, I believe.
Yeah.
Which obviously that would be cool, especially just have more competition. But in my opinion, I think Weatherly, he played fantastic for us before. I know last year he didn't do that well, or I think he maybe had an injury. I don't know. So, even him on the other side, I don't feel completely afraid.
Right.
I actually think Wonum's going to be really good.
Yeah, I
have high expectations for him. I think if you watch every game last year, I don't know how many snaps he had every game, but he didn't have a ton, and he had like 5 sacks.
Right.
Somewhere around there.
And the Aaron Rodgers sack, the game sealing sack, to beat the Packers. That's the best one. That's all I cared about.
So I feel good about it. I think what they're doing at the defensive end spot is going to be great. And especially you got the two, the 2 other rookies.
Robinson and Jones.
Yep, Robinson and Jones. So, you got, hopefully if one of those can just cement themselves a little bit, I think that's going to be exciting because who knows how far they'll go or how good they'll be.
Right.
I don't think we need to bring anyone else. I think those guys we have definitely have the potential to hold that side down.
Definitely. And then we'll just go through the rest of the levels here while we're at it. Linebackers, as long as Barr and Kendrick stay healthy, I think that's, they're a solid, especially since a lot of teams don't play in the base defense with 3 linebackers anymore,
Right.
So having those 2 back there is great. And then that Surratt could end up being something. I think he might need a little bit of development, but get there. That Nick Vigil is, probably not going to be
Vigil,
flashy, but solid veteran presence.
solid guy. Right,
You know?
exactly. And I think even Troy Dye
Yeah.
from last year's draft, like I think he had some injuries last year, so we didn't get to see him a ton. And he had some up and downs, but
Right.
I mean, that guy's athletically gifted too. And I think, I mean, even he has a shot. And honestly, we were talking about like what you're excited for training camp. And quietly, that weak side linebacker spot is something I'm excited to keep
Yeah.
an eye on, because that's probably the most up in the air spot we have on our roster that's kind of open for training camp, in my opinion. After signing Dede
Yeah.
to the wide receiver, it's his job to lose that third spot now.
Right. Yeah. And then, then of course, Harrison Smith, we've already kind of talked about corners with Peterson, Breland.
Yeah.
You know, you got Cam Dancer, to where if he could stay healthy, I think he's got a bright future in the league.
Right. And I'm hoping he wins that. I like Breland too. He's a stud, but
depth. You need to have veteran depth, you know?
Yeah, I want Dancer to win that spot though, because it's going to be between them two for that other outside corner spot.
And then you got Harrison Hand in there too. He's a wild card. Like,
yeah,
a lot of people are excited
too,
about him. He made plays every time he touched the field. You know, he reminds me a lot of Anthony Harris, a young Anthony Harris. You know.
Yeah. He could be that gem that who could just, you know,
right.
He could be the future after Patrick Peterson. I could see him being good enough this year, where next year, you know, we let Patrick Peterson walk. Maybe not. I mean, hopefully Patrick Peterson just goes insane this year.
Right.
Goes back to the old days.
Yep.
But,
it's just, I think they need to use him right. First off, I think Zimmer realized that. He kind of, and I know Patrick Peterson himself has kind of hinted that Arizona wasn't quite using him in the right ways, you know, like matching him up one-on-one with a guy like DK Metcalf. Like, come on. I mean, Patrick Peterson, he's older, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's what happens. But I think using him right and giving him Harrison Smith with help over the top is going to help immensely, because Harrison Smith is just amazing.
Yeah, and then if I was going to say there was one spot on our team, so that weak side linebacker spot's kind of up for grabs, but I think there's some potential there. I think if there's one spot on the defense that I have any sort of maybe like if about, it's probably the strong safety spot.
Yeah, you don't know about Xavier Woods?
Yeah, I don't know about Xavier Woods. I mean, I think he was I don't know, he was like a second round pick or something. I don't know, but it sounds like he had like one pretty good season, and then last season was pretty not that good. I mean, hopefully
their defense was trash all last year though. Dallas.
So I hope so. I mean, I would say he's the one questionable guy, and we don't really have much competition for him or anything like that.
Because who do we have? We have that Josh Metellus that we drafted last year, and then I think that Bynum, they said
Bynum,
could potentially.
That would be cool. So Bynum could somehow, because he was a cornerback.
Yeah,
he came out as cornerback, and we switched him to the safety spot. I mean, hey, if that ends up working out, and that, you know, it's always interesting when you see someone change their position. Because who knows, especially when it's cornerback to safety.
Right.
Because you see cornerbacks, you see them jump to that safety spot like seamlessly sometimes.
Yeah.
Generally older players, older cornerbacks.
Newman did it, right?
Newman, I thought, I think people asked if Peterson would do that.
Yeah, I remember that and shot that down.
But I'm sure he would be a beast. I think Antoine Winfield might have switched to safety.
Yeah, I think
maybe.
That
I don't
sounds
know.
right. Or maybe you're thinking of Junior. He was a safety.
Yeah,
Could
maybe.
Be. Yeah, but
true.
And then let's go to I think the biggest question mark on this team. What do you think about the special teams unit? I worry about them a lot. I mean, I worry about them kicking wise. I think with the new coordinator and I think the kick return spot's gonna be better. I mean, Osborne was shaky last year, but this year you got Kene and Wangu, who could be huge in those spots. I think they said that Amir Smith-Marset did some special teams work.
Yeah, he was really
good. And then Dede Westbrook could also return punts.
I think it's going to be good on that side. It better work, because we pick what's it? How do you pronounce it? Kene
and Wangu.
Kene.
Yeah.
But yeah, we drafted him in third round, I believe, or was it the first pick of the fourth round?
I think it was first pick of the fourth round.
Fourth round. So we definitely picked him because of that reason. I mean, I think he ran like a 4.29, and obviously our running back depth is pretty good and everything like that. So, so I know we brought him into that. That's why when we picked, what's his name from Iowa, the receiver?
Smith-Marset.
Yep, Smith-Marset.
Yeah.
it was interesting too because I know he was definitely more of like a punt return, kick return type of player
Yep.
over like a receiver, even though they think he has untapped potential, which I can see.
Yeah, when playing with Nate
Um,
Stanley, you don't get a lot of opportunities, I don't think.
yeah, 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 right. But so I mean, I'm hoping one of those guys definitely show up because I think we specifically picked them both for those roles.
Yep, I would agree.
You know, I mean, it'll be sweet if we can get a little change of pace from them on the actual offense because they have that ability for sure.
Yeah.
So I feel good about that. I feel like we have enough competition there with those guys killed it in college. So I mean, it doesn't always work out in the NFL, but I feel good about it.
Yeah.
The kickers, that whole situation's totally different. I don't know about that. We're
No,
just
me
rolling
neither.
the dice now.
I mean, because we got that Greg Joseph, right? Kind of a journeyman guy. And
Yeah,
then
and
that
then
Riley Patterson's been out. He hasn't kicked for us one time. You know, and
yeah,
he's out with in training camp right now too. So I
right,
don't,
right.
I don't know. It's
On
kind of
top of
sketchy.
right, and then
As
on
we've
top of
seen,
like
kickers can make or break it, you know?
right, right. And whatever's with our organization when it comes to kickers, I don't know if we scare them or what, but they just do not play well. Like Daniel Carlson,
Right?
and then
Guy's
we
a stud
release
now.
him, goes to the Raiders, and now he's probably one of the better
Yep.
kickers in the NFL.
And we bring in
So
Dan
that's
Bailey, and he's single-handedly blows the Tampa Bay game for us last
yeah.
year. You know.
Well, before he was on our team, he was had
Yep.
the highest field goal percentage in NFL history.
Right, but there was a reason he was a free agent at that time too, because I think his last year in Dallas, he took a step back. I think he had an injury to go along with it, but yeah, I don't know. The special teams, then punter, hopefully Colquitt can, regain his form from 2 years ago. Struggled a little bit last year, but I don't know. The specialists, I worry about the whole kicking situation
Yeah,
on
that's
both.
always brutal because we've lost Minnesota. Probably all teams have
Yeah,
had some brutal kicks.
yeah, that we
And
have.
it's like as good as your team can possibly be, we know that it could one kick could just destroy everything.
Derail a season. Yep.
Yep.
Lose a playoff game.
Yep.
Get you out of a
Yep.
Super
I
Bowl.
was
It
at
can be frustrating.
the Seattle game the last time when Blair Walsh missed the kick in Seattle, and
Yep.
it was like negative 20 degrees outside.
You were there, weren't you?
Yeah, I was there. Yeah, and we're all in like hunting gear basically, just head to toe with snowsuits on and everything, just freezing out there. And we're all just excited about to win, sitting through this brutally cold game, and then it was like a 30-yard field goal or
27.
something, just
27.
miss, and
Shanks.
cold walk back to the car.
Disappointment all around. Yeah, that was a
Disappointments.
brutal year. So what do you think coaching staff wise? You like what they've done off season wise?
Yeah. I mean, I'm cool with it, I guess. I wouldn't say it's anything too sexy. I mean, we don't really know about the Kubiak.
Yep.
We don't know. I mean, who knows if he's gonna be as good as his dad and everything. But yeah, I don't really know. I don't, there's no star. I mean, so far in these past few years, we keep getting like these, we got Kubiak from last year, North Turner, and these kind of big name ex coaches that were pretty good, and then it didn't really work out the way we wanted. So I don't know. I'm hoping we get something good out of that, and what his game plan is going to be. And
do you buy into the whole Zimmer holding back his offensive coordinators thing at all?
Personally, not really. I don't think so. I don't know. Maybe I guess I get the idea that at least it was like this. Maybe not so much anymore. Maybe with Norv, where I felt like he was just kind of like, hey, I'm paying attention to the defense. I'll let you guys kind of have more control over the offense because I'm a defensive guy. But maybe that's not true. Maybe that's wrong. Why? What do you think about that?
I think he is big on the whole running the football thing. I don't think he spends a lot of time with the offense, but I do think he gets in the OC's ear and says, hey, we need to, I want to run the football. Yeah. Because we've seen it. Yeah. We saw it. What game was it last year that he almost lost it at the end because he because we decided to, run the clock out and punt and give them the ball back at the end of the game,
Yeah.
and they ended up not scoring. But, or maybe I'm thinking back a couple years ago or something. But I mean, we've seen it on multiple occasions. He's big
Right,
on
right,
at the
right.
end of the game, play safe defense, let them run down and kick a field goal, get within 3 points, run the ball
Yeah.
3 times, punt, and then stop them from scoring at the end. It just gets too nerve wracking,
Yeah, I do. I think I'm with you on that actually. I would say it was when we got that. I forgot what his name is, but we got. I think I don't know if he was the quarterback coach or what from the Eagles, and we made him our offense coordinator.
JDF,
What is it?
John DeFilippo.
Yeah, DeFilippo. Once we got him, and it was kind of like, all right, we're going to straight passing, and then it was a huge flop. And honestly, I think that's what kind of scared Zim, and I think ever since that, I feel like he's just now it has definitely been like, no, we got to run the balls, right? Because that's what has worked for us before.
Yep.
But I don't think that's not the best approach. I think
No, I'm hoping because this year I'm really hoping that he's learned from the years past. I know he said with the defense he's going to start switching it up a little bit and trying some new things. So hopefully he does that with the offense. If he could just do, just mix it up. Don't always, because we always just do the run, pass, punt. That's run, pass, punt. That's always like
right.
Those are the 4 plays in his playbook. So I'm hoping he just allows a little more creativity for Clint Kubiak, especially with the talent we have on offense, and do something.
Right.
I understand, if you have a guy like Derrick Henry just pounding him up the middle, trying to tire out the middle of that defense, but we got to try something different there,
Yeah.
Move Cook around, fling the ball out to him, get him on some outside zone runs or something, like do something different with him,
Right. Yeah, I don't know if that kind of play style will be winning Super Bowls these days. I mean, I don't know a single, or what's the last team that won a Super Bowl like that? Just run first, especially recently. Now it's just in the air.
Right, exactly. I mean, especially since you're going, in Super Bowl, you're going up against the Patrick Mahomes. That's what they do. And even with, if you play Tampa Bay in the playoffs or something, like Brady can't throw the ball like he used to, but Arians still wants him to air it out.
Right. Yep. And they got all them receivers, and I mean, even Tennessee will be interesting what they do this year because they're kind of in a similar situation as us. Honestly, very similar situation. Other than that, Delvin Cook and what's his name?
Henry.
Henry are 2 different types of running backs.
Right.
But other than that, I mean, you got Julio and AJ Brown, and then Tannehill's the quarterback, which honestly, I feel like is decently comparable to Cousins. And then so you got the 2 stud receivers and then the running back, but they want to keep pushing Henry. So is this year, are they going to be a team that kind of adds a little bit more to the passing game this year?
Right.
Which I feel like they will, or at least should. And I feel like we should definitely be a little bit more dynamic that way.
Yep. I agree. So it'll be, I don't know, it'll be interesting. I hope, I just hope Zimmer kind of has a different mindset and realizes that he might be in his last season if we don't make a run. So we'll see.
Hoping so.
But just looking at, this whole offseason, it's time to quit talking about it. The offseason was good. We made some good pickups, but now it's time for everybody to go out and show it,
Yeah, for sure. We can't have another season like last year. We were all hyped. We didn't know how bad Danielle Hunter's injury was. Right. And then it was just a big bust. Like every other year is like when we get really pumped up and then it's just a bust.
Yep. And
it is the bye year.
Yep. Yeah.
It's in the bye year. So who knows? It should be good. It should be Super Bowl bound.
And that's the thing. I feel like Zimmer almost doesn't know how to coach with expectations. Because usually, he loves using that, nobody thinks we can do it, that mantra, nobody thinks we can win. So we got to go out, let's go prove them wrong. But when people are looking at him, you guys got a good team. I don't think he knows how to motivate players in that way,
Yeah. Right. I think they need to, I don't know, something. I don't know. There's something you see Tom Brady's going to the teams and he can just switch the mentality around there. I don't know. We have to believe we're an actual Super Bowl team. I'm sure we do to some extent, but I don't know how you can have a season like last year after, we still had good talent and everything. We had a decent stretch, I guess, but last year.
Yeah. So I don't know. What do you record prediction? What are you thinking? With everything we've talked about,
So,
all the players, we've seen the schedule. What are we thinking record-wise?
personally, I think a lot of people think like 8 wins, which is low for me. I mean, I'm pretty ambitious with my picks and pretty optimistic.
Yep.
So I think I'm saying 11. So it'd be 11-6 this year, right?
Yep.
Because we got the extra game
Yep.
this year.
Yep.
Crazy world.
I'm going bold. 13-4,
That's what you're feeling?
1 seed, rip through the
Yeah.
playoffs.
Yeah.
Super Bowl against the Bills, 0-4 versus 0-4. Let's
go. That's what I'm
Stephon Diggs
talking
ain't winning
about.
one.
Yep.
I would.
mean,
That would be.
I think we got the talent, man. I
Yeah.
definitely do. Way better than what people think. If someone has some money to throw down in Vegas, do it for the Vikings.
Right. Especially
They're
now. I
gonna beat
mean, I would do it.
expectations.
I would bet on them to win the division right now because I'm sure now that Rodgers is back, they're probably favored to win the division again.
Yeah.
Toss some money on the Vikes. They got me. I'm sure they're number 2, but I don't know. I have a feeling this year that the Packers aren't gonna. I mean, I bet you they'll still be good, but I have a feeling the Vikes are winning the division this year. Even with Rodgers, I've always kind of felt that when I saw the way they built this team.
Right. And there's still gonna be some, internal stuff there going in Green Bay.
Yeah.
Like there's no way him coming back, everything's gonna be fixed and stuff. I mean, he still has to worry about he has to play well this year because what if something bad happens or he gets hurt because his contract is considered up now after this year or whatever. So he has to show out. So that part is good for them, I guess. But still, everything's not going well there. I mean,
right.
So I don't know. But they just got Randall Cobb back today, actually. And I think his time as being a really good receiver is done, even if it's with Rodgers. And other than that, they still haven't went out and got any good help.
Nope.
For Devonta Adams in that receiving.
No, they have Devonta Adams and that Amari Rodgers from Clemson, who he could be okay.
But yeah, he could be. He could be pretty good.
And Tunyon and Aaron Jones, like they got talent, but I don't know. But then it sounds like Zadarius Smith might want out of there too, depending on his contract and stuff. But
yeah, I know a lot of them. I know now it's gonna if Rodgers come. We thought there's a chance Rodgers gone, Smith's gone, Devonta Adams was having problems.
Yeah, that'd have been great.
Comes back and you're gonna see everything work out for him now.
Nah. This is a Vikings podcast. We don't talk that way on here. All right. I'm kidding. Yeah. But no, I don't know. We'll see. I think it'll be a tight division this year, though. I think it'll be fun.
Yeah. No, it's better to have that competition. I want people to know the Vikings deserve this division win this year.
Yep, for sure. And I don't have faith. I mean, the only team I'm not afraid of in any way is the Lions, because I just don't think they have anything on that roster. Yeah. But the Bears with their defense could always be a threat. But
right, I'm not afraid of them. I think with the amount of talent we have, I just think we definitely have I think we have the most well-rounded team for sure in our division.
For sure.
Like,
I would agree with that.
I feel like that for a fact. I think that's not even being biased.
Right.
Every position basically has some sort of pretty close to a star.
Yep.
I mean, even our offensive line with O'Neal, I would say he's definitely getting there.
Mm-hmm. I would agree. Yeah, he's going to get a lot of money. There's been some big right tackle contracts in the last few weeks, so he's probably going to be getting some. What do you think? 15 to 18 million a year, probably for 4 years. Probably about right.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it'll be worth it. I mean, we need it. We have to start focusing on the offensive line, which we finally this year. That's the thing that is so exciting about this year, is it feels like the first year where we actually did pay more attention to that, and mostly just because of the draft.
Yeah. I mean, Davis, because Davis, a lot of people are saying before his knee injury in the playoffs, he was going to be a first round pick,
Yeah.
So you basically get 2 first round picks, and his knee, people were worried his knee was going to hold him back to start the year. Everything sounds like it's checking out. So that could be that'll probably come down to being one of the biggest steals of this draft, I think.
Oh yeah, I think so too. And we're pretty good with that. Spielman's pretty good with it.
Yeah, he is. And that's why I like Spielman. I have nothing against Spielman. I know some people do. I think he's a really good GM. Even if we suck this year, I'd still like to see us keep him around. I think he makes good picks. I mean, Kellen Mond is going to be the best quarterback in the league in a couple of years. So, that's going to be a thumbs up for him.
Yeah, I know. And if Kellen Mond can just turn into something good, that'd be crazy. I would say, I think Spielman is actually incredible GM. I think the one thing about him, though, is that he hasn't got the right quarterback yet. And that's how he's going to stay there.
Yep.
So
And
other than that, outside of that, he's been phenomenal. I mean, he's wheeling and dealing, you know,
for sure.
drafts, it's insane. I didn't know you could do half those stuff.
Right. And yeah, quarterback, as they say, it's the most important position in all team sports. So,
yeah,
you know.
Yeah, it is important. I think he took definitely that Mund thing I think that was smart.
Yep. I think so too.
So,
and I think I heard there was some push from the Wilfs to make a significant investment in quarterback.
Yeah.
Which is solid. And I think they needed it. You know, it gives you hope for the future at least.
So. Right. Hope for the future. You know, you're not forcing anything. If Mund doesn't work out, who cares, really? And then if he does, great. He's a guy that definitely can work out. But if he doesn't, you know, it's not the end of the world. We can go, you know, if we tank this season, we can definitely come back and get a quarterback next year.
Yep.
We're not attached to him like the Bears are with Justin Fields.
Right. For sure. Sink or swim with Justin Fields now.
Yeah.
Justin Fields and Andy Dalton.
Andy Dalton, yeah. I mean, yeah, that situation. Yeah. Hope I think Justin Fields will probably be pretty solid quarterback.
Yeah, I agree.
I wanted him.
Yeah. It would have been cool if they could have gotten him. But you know, at the end of the day they didn't. And you live with what you get.
Right. Mond was still their fourth. I think they had him ranked fourth on their list above Mac Jones.
Yeah. Yep.
So I think, I mean, in getting him in the third round, I feel like, I mean, I think that's definitely a positive for sure for the Vikings and stuff like all that.
Yep. I agree.
But yeah. But no, I'm excited. I feel like definitely keep an eye on a lot of Kellen Mond this year. So during this podcast, you'll probably hear me talk about him quite a bit.
Yeah.
You know, if he turns out to be that guy for us, it'll be exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited for preseason game 3. I think he's going to be playing significant. I think he'll play the first half by himself completely.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to start seeing what you got in him, you know?
Yeah.
And that's the best way to do it.
See it. Yep. He has to win that. Hopefully he does win that. It's his job to lose that second quarterback spot.
Yep.
But we want to see that happen. It will kind of be disappointing if he just doesn't do well enough to get that.
Yeah.
But
I don't foresee it. I think he's got a lot of talent, and I think he's willing to learn. That's the big thing you don't see with a lot of young kids like that. So
right. So no, excited, and hopefully it turns out he'll be quarterback we really haven't seen as far as I've been watching them, with his legs and everything like that. So, and that's like the new way to be a quarterback now, and so I want to see that.
Yep.
So do you think D.D. Westbrook will take that third receiving job?
I think so. Yeah. I really do. I mean, then you got different things all over the field now. You know, Jefferson is like that dynamic receiver. You got Thielen, who is just, you know, he's going to catch everything thrown at him, amazing route runner. And then Westbrook is kind of your speed guy. So I think Smith Marset will probably be a close 4. And then, BB and BC round out the receivers. And
that's pretty solid. I hope we see Marset do that. I wouldn't even be mad if somehow he got that third spot.
Yeah. No, I mean, and I don't think anybody would complain about that. You know?
Right.
Just some other talented receiver. Now it's all about Cousins getting him the ball. So
heck yeah.
All right. What else?
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like
it's pretty good.
Did a solid job covering stuff on training camp and everything that we want to see happen.
Into the training camp edition of the GG Sports Podcast. To keep following along, make sure to hit that like button. Help us out a lot. Get started here, and also remember to hit that subscribe button if you want to follow us all the way to that first Vikings Super Bowl. So see you guys in the next episode.
Skol Vikes.